have for you is a word.
Tenet.
Hey everyone, it's Rihanna and welcome to my review of Tenet, which is the newest film directed by Christopher Nolan. Now, Tenet was probably my most anticipated film of 2020 because it's Christopher Nolan and I've been a fan of his for years. He just makes anything he touches golden and genius, so of course I was excited to see this movie. So let's talk about it. So Tenet follows an unnamed CIA operative, only known as the protagonist. He's recruited for a mission armed with only one word: Tenet in a race against time and fight for survival for all of humanity. He travels through a world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold something beyond real time. I'm gonna leave the details for the plotline very under wraps because I want you guys to see this film and experience it for yourself, so we're not going to be talking spoilers anytime in this review. Sadly, that also means that's pretty much all I can tell you about the plot. In terms of the story, I don't think I've seen Nolan do anything as ambitious as this in a film since Inception. No disrespect to Interstellar, it is still a masterpiece, but Tenet really messes with your brain. Nolan continues to surprise me with how much he loves experimenting in terms of storytelling. Tenet tells a story that is complex, smart, and thought-provoking. It actually scares me how this story very much replicates how I see our future. If you look at the way that Jordan Peele has done Us and Get Out, those are both stories that I feel could very much happen in our world, and the same goes for Tenet. It's scary, it's thought-provoking, and it's mind-bending. This film is very much story-heavy, so make sure you pay attention because if you don't, you're gonna miss something and you're gonna get really confused. That's what I love about Christopher Nolan and his storytelling, writing, and directing. He just demands that you watch the screen. He just pulls you in with such a simple concept and then it unfolds to something deeper. So yeah, you're gonna want to pay attention. You don't want to miss this. I can already tell that Tenet is going to divide opinions because this is one of Nolan's most ambitious films. I can definitely see why people would love this film and rave about it and talk about it to everyone, and I can also see why somebody would dislike this film. The story is not going to be for everyone, but if you are a Nolan fan, you're probably going to love it. I'm lucky because I happen to be on the side that loves this film. I thought it was ingenious. My brain hurt afterwards. I don't expect anything else from a Christopher Nolan story other than to be mind-bending and make my brain hurt. Let's talk about Nolan's directing style in Tenet. I've already said this is probably his most ambitious film. That's not only the case for the story, but also the visuals in this film. I've never seen anyone attempt to put on screen what Nolan has done with Tenet. The choreography is so precise and mesmerizing to watch. Every single fight scene, I was just glued and I was brought into the world of Tenet. I'm mixing this choreography with the cinematography, the score, and the story. Oh my goodness, just Nolan definitely hasn't lost his touch. He's definitely just enhanced it. I was so impressed by the choreography in this film. It must have taken so much time and so much practice. Glorious, fantastic. Any other adjective under the sun to describe this goddamn choreography. It was so freaking impressive. Christopher Nolan just continues to try new things, which I love from a director. I can't stand when a director is just same old all the time, doesn't take risks, because it gets boring really fast, but Christopher Nolan could probably never disappoint me. Next, let's talk about the performances. We have John David Washington as the protagonist. He's a bit of a mysterious character. He's likable and he's cocky and he's smart, but he was quite generic at the same time. He isn't one of Nolan's most developed characters. He doesn't have a lot of backstory. I couldn't really connect to his motivations in the story, but because he is just known as the protagonist, I kind of understand Nolan's vision there. The protagonist is supposed to be sort of mysterious and generic and be there for one purpose, and that is to resolve the issue in the story. It's a clever writing move, but also I felt just a lot of disconnect with his character. That's not to say that John David Washington didn't do a fantastic job in the role. He was great. And then Robert Pattinson plays Neil, who is a similar character to the protagonist. He is recruited onto this mission as well. But again, Rob Pattinson did a great job in the role. Him and John David Washington as the protagonist and Neil bounced off each other very, very well. Just not really what I expect from two main performances in a Nolan film. I know I probably shouldn't compare Tenet to, say, Interstellar or to Inception, but I can't help it. You know, the ensemble cast of Inception are all insanely good in Inception. All of them have standout moments. I felt like these characters didn't get technically their moment to shine. Great performances, the characters just weren't there for me. I felt more drawn to Elizabeth Debicki's character, who was called Kat. She was a struggling mother in a loveless marriage. You understood her motivations, her performance was compelling and raw, and I just got her straight away. Elizabeth Debicki as Kat was a scene stealer, a showstopper. Her performance was my favourite in this film. And another performance in Tenet that actually stole the show for me was Kenneth Branagh as Andre Sator. You could feel the anger coming off of this guy. Like, it was bouncing out of the screen. I am honestly shocked that none of Kenneth Branagh's veins in his head popped at the amount of anger he brings to his performance. And you understood where his motivations were coming from as well. So even though they are both two sort of side characters in the film, Andre Sator and Kat were the most impressive to me. Let's talk about the incredible score. The score was done by Ludwig Göransson, and it is the first thing that I noticed and loved about Tenet. The score pretty much kicks in about 2 minutes into this film, and it hooked me from the start. It was atmospheric, it got me caught in the story, and I continued to notice how good the score was throughout the film, so you know that is a great score. The cinematography by Hoyt van Hoytema, I always say his name wrong, I apologise, was as always beautiful. That in combination with the choreography was just so damn good. If I had one complaint about this film, it would be the sound mixing. And believe me, I can't believe I'm complaining about sound mixing in a Christopher Nolan film because usually it is spot on. But the opening scenes of this film, I could not understand a lot of dialogue going on. When you see the film, you'll understand that that might have been for a different reason, but subtitles were definitely needed in the first sort of scene of this film. That was one aspect I thought it would go away, but it continued throughout the film. Background noise and the score was so overpowering in some scenes, I couldn't hear some of the dialogue and it was really distracting. At first, I just thought it was my screening, but I have heard a lot on Twitter that people were complaining that you couldn't hear the dialogue. So listen up, people. It really wouldn't be such a big problem for me, but not being able to hear some dialogue really does take you out of the film sometimes. And another flaw I have with Tenet is the pacing of the first half of the film. There are some really, really good action scenes in the first half, but a lot of the dialogue, a lot of the exposition is very slow. It's compelling, don't get me wrong, it just takes a while for things to get going. It is definitely worth that slow first half when it comes to the second half. It is incredible and epic. In summary, did I love Tenet? Of course I loved Tenet. It was mind-blowing. The story was complex. I love the score, cinematography and choreography. But of course, no film goes without having its flaws. Although this is only on my first viewing, if I'm going to go and compare it to Inception and Interstellar, I would say those two films are slightly more impressive in terms of character, but Tenet is equally as impressive in its story, cinematography, score, etc. in comparison to those two films. After a first watch, I can tell you that I love Tenet. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Tenet definitely needs a rewatch ASAP, and maybe after that I will come back to you guys and talk some spoilers, because hopefully you would have seen it by then. I really hope you guys enjoyed my review of Tenet. If you have seen the film, let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments. But if you're going to talk about spoilers, please leave a spoiler warning. And even if you haven't seen the film, let me know if you are looking forward to it and what's your favourite Christopher Nolan film. Don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. All my social media links are here if you want to come follow me on socials and talk about TV and movies and stuff. As always guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you very soon. Bye!